back, friends, to SusanCanCreate. This is going to be a first. I'm going to do a series of little 5-minute videos. They're going to be kind of, I wouldn't say instructional, but kind of picking my brain on how I do things. I keep getting asked, what is my thought process? What are some tips and tricks I give to you guys? And so I decided to put them together in a little video series of little short videos that will all be on my channel. And if you subscribe, wink wink, you can find them on my channel, and then you don't have to look through all the videos. When you're ready to give a party, you can go through those little tips, and it'll help you do the planning for the party. This first one is on hostess tips. Okay, these are the ones you need to think about. These are things you need to think about when the guests are coming. This is before they come. This is preparing for the party. This is in inclement weather, rain or snow that might be happening that day of your party, because we do have parties in the winter. We do have parties when it rains. Up here in the Northwest, if you didn't have a party when it rains, you're never going to have a party. So these are things you need to be thinking about as a hostess if you're going to plan a party and the weather is like that. These are things that you may not be thinking about, but you need to think about these things. Okay, so number one to consider is, how are the guests going to arrive? Okay, what is your parking situation? Can the guests drive up real close to your house so there's not much distance from them to get from their car to your house, from them to get from their car to your front door and it's raining really hard, or it's snowing or slippery or whatever the situation? You might want to think about, can they come through the garage? Okay, the garage may not be the most elegant place for them to come through, but maybe it's the closest and the safest place for them. If they are, if that works, great. Make sure your garage is clean. Make sure they have a safe pathway through there. Sometimes that's the easiest, because then you can set up a space in the garage for their umbrellas. Remember, this is people with rain bring umbrellas. What are you going to do with them? So if they come through the garage, you can set them right there. You can open them up, let them dry there. If it's cold, if it's rainy, and they've got all this wet gear, if it's safe in your garage, you can set up a little heater there, electric heater type thing where it's safe. Make sure you're safe there, so it can dry those things out while they're in at the party. But be prepared, get those things set up. Also, make sure the path from the garage, inside the house to where they're going to go have their dinner is clean and safe, and there's somebody there to guide them. Just don't turn them loose, in the house, so they're wandering around the house trying to find where they're supposed to go. So take a look at that. Remember that. Remember, now, if they're going to the front door, remember that your pathways, your walkways are all clean. Especially up here in the Northwest, we have rain, we usually have wind, and we have lots of trees. So there's usually a lot of debris down on the sidewalks. And so make sure that that's all cleaned off right before the guests are supposed to arrive. If there's snow or ice, and we get ice, make sure you've got de-icer, salt, something on there to make it safe for them to navigate up to your front door. When they get to the front door, make sure your front door has got, it's decorated somehow, a nice wreath, something, make it welcoming. Make sure there's a good doormat there so they can wipe their feet there. When they come through the front door, think about that. What are they going to step on? Are they stepping on tile with wet shoes? That could be slippery. Are they stepping on a nice rug there, like a nice expensive rug? Think about that. If it is a nice expensive rug, you're going to want to get some sort of runner, some sort of plastic runner to put down on that to protect it. If you're the kind of hostess that absolutely they have to take their shoes off, you better have let them know that ahead of time, so they can bring, like, if they want to bring their slippers or something along. If they know you and they know that is your MO, that's great. If they don't know you, you may be offending them. So you as the hostess, it's up to you to be prepared for that. You cannot demand people take their shoes off. So you need to be prepared. So if you don't know your people and you are absolutely adamant that they can't, you've got certain things on your floor, then it's up to you. Remove those rugs. If they're expensive, rugs, get rid of them if you can. If not, put runners. Put plastic runners down on them. That's what they're there for. If it's wood floors that are fragile, get some runners. Put the runners down. Some, cheap, like throw rugs or something. Put those down. You're the one that has to be prepared for that. Now, once they're in there, you also need to be prepared, and you've got coats now. Now, when the weather, if it isn't raining and it's just cold out, that's fine. You still have to be prepared for all that winter gear. What are you going to do with these coats? If you have a coat closet, great. If you have a coat, like I have a coat tree, fine. Make sure you've taken all your coats out of there, out of the coat closet, off the coat tree. Get rid of them so you have someplace to put your guests' coats. If you have a guest room, that works too. What it doesn't work in any of those three situations if the coats are wet. You can't throw a bunch of wet coats down on your guest bed or in the closet or on a coat rack. They're not going to dry, or they'll drip all over your carpet or your rugs or your wood floors. Think about these things ahead of time. You're going to have to cart these things off to the garage, and that's why I said if you have a heater out there, that helps to dry those things. But be prepared. Have something out there. Be prepared. Some sort of hanging rack or something you can put these things on. If they're coming in the front door and they have umbrellas, you need to be prepared. These could be sopping wet umbrellas. And if you haven't thought about it, there's nothing worse than having a bunch of those things. They can't leave them outside. I don't care if you have a covered porch. You can't leave them outside like that. So get those plastic bags. They have plastic bags that umbrellas fit in. Put them in outside, try to shake them off, put them in outside so you can carry them through your house to your garage. Once you get in the garage, open them up. That's an old wives' tale, opening umbrellas and unlucky in the house. Oh, balderdash. Just open them up, put them out there, let them dry off out there. But if you put them in that bag, at least you're not dripping all the way through your house. But you got to think about these things when you do have umbrellas to deal with. Okay, that's the first part. That's dealing with all the extra clothing and all the dealing with the inclement weather when you have guests coming. Okay, so stay tuned for Hostess tips number 2. It's how things to think about for your dining room. All right, see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.